Imagine a tool that can audit your Amazon listings for absolutely free. I built this tool because we really had to audit a lot of listings of different brands every week. And what we used to do, we used to gather all different types of reports. We used to gather, reviews. We used to gather a lot of information, and then we had to manually gather all the data and manually audit the brand, right? But now I've made all that easier using a single tool that is absolutely free. It's sitting on my website. And by the way, if you want free access to it, go in the description below. You'll get the link to it. All you have to do is input your name and your email and you'll get the access to the tool, right? And I'm going to show you right now what the tool does, how it can audit your listings, what it can compare against your top competitors, and how it basically works. I have this tool called a free tool, and it says get a free Amazon listing audit. Below it says paste your Amazon store link or a single product link. Now up here we're gonna paste a single product link because that's what we want to audit right now. And as an example, I have this listing that I want to audit today. And if you simply just press run free audit, the audit will start. Now I want to add something else here. This tool can go really comprehensive, and if you provide it with a business report by child ASIN and a search query performance report, both of these reports combined will give you way better access to a lot of data that you're missing in the audit, right? And if you have access to these reports, and by the way, I'm going to show you where you can get these reports from in Sales Central. If you are in Sales Central and you're seeing the new dashboard, to get your business report by child ASIN, click on My Business, click on All Reports, click on Business Reports, and it will take you to Business Report page. Simply click on Detail Page Sales and Traffic by Child Item. Input the date range. For example, I prefer last 1 to 2 months. Once you have it, simply download the report and you'll have the business report by Joy Layson. The second report that you need is the search query performance report. And to get that, click on marketing, click on brand analytics, click on search analytics, and I'll show you search query performance. Simply click on that. Click on the ASIN view because we want it per ASIN. Input the ASIN that you have. Select the report range. Personally, I like at least quarterly because it gives you better access to long range data. Click on 2026, select your quarter, apply, and once you have the report, now it says I don't have enough data here, but once you have the ASIN and everything else here, simply generate the download and you'll get the report here. Now we'll see what we actually get access to in the free audit in the tool here. So by the way, all of this data can be downloaded through a PDF, and if you click here, you'll be able to download it. It'll show you a print option. Simply just click on save and you'll have the PDF saved as a complete audit. Right? So the first thing we have in the audit is an overview. It gives you an average quality score. Now think of the quality score as a score out of 100. So for example, if your score is 94, that really means that the quality score is really good, right? And the first thing that we have in the audit is some priority fixes in your listing. It's showing us, for example, the first priority fix is that the bullets are substantive. They have to be above 100 characters to really, show the customers what you're actually selling. But your bullets on average are 79 characters. Closing this gap is worth a bit more points to your audit score on the audit. Now the second thing that it shows is that the main keyword we have, which is the large dog treats, and this was taken from the search query performance report. We basically got clicked on this term, but it was underperforming on purchases relative to your click share, which means there could be an issue possibly with your pricing, your reviews, or your listing. You have to check your images and so on. The third thing it's saying is competitor one has more images than you. You might want to review all of that, right? And then it shows us a listing quality checklist where it shows us the title, character, length. For example, it should be from 80 to 200, and ours is 97, which is okay. We have a brand attribution mention, which is the brand name mentioned in the title. We have 7 or more gallery images. We have a product video. We have 5 bullet points, and by the way, you should have at least 5 bullet points in your listing if you're just starting on Amazon. Bullets should be at least 100 or more characters. Now, this is what this competitor is missing from the audit. You should have an A+ content. You should have an A+ brand story module. You should have at least 4.3 ratings or more. Your reviews should be 100 or more. Anything less would be now for size. Anyone just starting on Amazon would obviously have less than 100 reviews, and that is fine because you shouldn't have everything mentioned in the audit, but you should cover most of these things. And obviously, you should have stock and have the best-selling rank. Now, what does has the best-selling rank mean? Some of these listings on Amazon, which are new, don't really show the rank, and it happens sometimes because the listing is new. But with at least 1 to 2 weeks in, you should see some ranks applied to your categories. For example, are you ranked 33 in the pet supplied category, or are you 50th or something? You should know all of this. It would then show you the images that you have. So it's presenting all of the images here one by one. It's also going into the content depth. For example, you have an A+ content, you have the brand story, you have the video, and all of that we just discussed. And then the reviews come out in the next section. The reviews basically means that, for example, the most recent reviews that you have are basically presented here in the audit, and it's basically just presenting you some of the good ones and some of the bad ones. Now here it hasn't really shown enough negative reviews because there's probably not enough, and this listing is really highly rated on Amazon, right? And so it's just picking up the good reviews, and that's something that you can really highlight and see what people really like about your listing, you know. The next thing we have is the best section. It's my favorite. It's your pricing versus competitors. For example, your price is 11.47. Your competitor is at $15. The competitive range is this, and you're sort of 20% below the average, which could be a good thing because that means if you have good enough margins and you're slightly below the competitive price and you're selling fine, that means your price is really competitive. And then it also compares you against your top competitors. So you can see these are the two competitors it picked up automatically. Remember, we just gave it our listing link and no competitors. And now it's showing their pricing, their ratings, and reviews. And by the way, it would also compare your listing against your top competitor. In here, I actually picked up the biggest competitor in the category, and that's why you can see that units sold here on our listing is 50,000 plus, and the top competitor is 4,000 plus. But in your case, if it's you, you wouldn't be a top competitor, and you would be compared against some legit competitors, and it would compare your images. You know, you have 9, they have 10, you have these number of bullet points, you have all of this covered, they have this covered, and so on. And the best thing here is the units sold per month and the sales to review ratio. Sales to review ratio basically means how many reviews you get per sales. For example, if you get 10 sales and you get 1 review, then the ratio is 10 to 1, right? And in here, it's literally the same against the top competitor, which means we're fine here, right? But if it's higher on your end, for example, you get a lot of reviews per sales, that means you're performing really good. And the same goes to your competitor. Now, it will also show you opportunities to review, and this is something that we just went over, but you can see it says competitor 1 has more gallery images than yours. It might be worth reviewing. And then the same for the bullets that we discussed above. It also shows the bullets and the images side by side, so you can do your comparison right here, and you don't have to open your listing and their listing and see what is different on their listing and on yours, right? Now, my favorite part here is the keyword check rank. And by the way, if you have a main keyword, you can put it in here. This audit actually picks up the keyword automatically, and it might not be exactly right. For example, this is not the main keyword, but you can pick a main keyword, for example, dog treats or something, and you can check the rank. And for example, if I input dog treats here, and check the rank, it'll show me if I am ranked on that specific keyword anywhere on page 1, right? So you can see it says rank number 1 organically for dog treats. So we are ranked for this keyword, which is really good, right? My next favorite part here is the search query performance, which is your top search terms. It would analyze your top search terms, but only if you provided it with the search query performance report that I just showed you from Seller Central. For example, you can see the first search term here is dog treats, and it says that our conversion here is 5% and the market conversion here is 7.6%. And if you are below the market conversion rate, you might want to review your listing. You might want to review why are we not performing well on that specific keyword. Is it that it's not really relevant? Is it that we even have it in our listing? Are we even targeting it properly on ads? Could it be an issue with the pricing? Could it be an issue with anything else, for example, reviews? Some of the keywords would be performing relatively well against the market. For example, the milk bone, the second keyword here, our conversion is 9.4 and the market conversion is 7.9. That means we can increase our bids, we can go aggressive on the ads on this keyword, and since we're performing well already against the market, this would be a good keyword to target in your ads. This is something that you can literally send to your ads manager or your agency, or if you're doing the ads yourself, and you can manage all of this really properly, right? In the end, it would show you all the bid opportunities. For example, you can work well on this keyword, you can convert well on this keyword, you might want to it might be worth increasing the bids. And then gaps, for example, this specific term, you got clicked on this term, but underperform on purchases relative to click share. That means you get a lot of clicks, but you don't get purchases. Is it even a relative keyword? Is it even worth targeting in your ads? If we're already spending a lot on this keyword on ads, we might want to narrow down our bids and not spend a lot because it would just bleed and it would just spend your ad budget. And my last favorite part on this audit is a profit calculator, which is really important for especially new sellers selling on Amazon. If you know your price, if you even don't, it's already picking up the price here. You can simply input your COGS, which is the cost of your product. I'm assuming it's $2 here as an example. Referral fee is 15%. Now this is picked up already, and it can be different for your category. For example, in this, it could be like 5% or 10% or 7%. You might want to double check that against your category or your product, and you might want to input the right percentage. Now, note that this is a percentage. This is not a amount or the dollar amount. The FBA fee is already picked up. Now, again, you might want to double check. It could be $3, but this is just an estimate coming from the audit. Tacos is your ads. For example, if you're spending 5% against your ads or 10%, you might want to input that percentage here. Usually, the formula for tacos is your total ad spend over total sales, and the total sales include the ad sales and organic sales for that specific period. Coupon, if you have a coupon in percentage, for example, 10%, 5%, usually competitors have 10 to 15% of coupons. I would just input 10% because that's what we usually have on our listings. Other costs could be your shipping or anything else. If you know, you can put that in. And in the end, you can see it chooses the margin, which is 30% almost, and $3.37. That is what our margin is per unit. It will also give you an estimated monthly margin. Now, this is not exactly accurate, but it could be because this is according to the number of units we're selling per month that it basically took from Amazon. And by the way, the units sold per month that we saw above at 50,000, this was taken from Amazon's own data. It's not an estimation here. This was the complete audit. If you think that you can go more in detail with the audit, if you think that you need a better eye on the audit, for example, on your listings, any conversion rates you're messing about with, if your listing isn't exactly converting as it should be, your sales are stuck, your profit margin isn't where it needs to be, and your ads need a better look and a second eye, feel free to book a call here with us, and it would be directly with me. You would have a second pair of eyes on your listing. All you have to do is simply just fill out this form. It'll take you a calendar link. Schedule the call whenever you're available, and I'll be happy to take a second look on your listing. That's all. If you think this audit was really helpful, and if you need the access, simply go in the description, get the access, and that's all, guys. Thank you.